Good morning, everyone. This week's Torah portion is Shemini, and it begins with Aaron being inducted to begin his service as the high priest. The name Shemini means number 8. It was after the 7 days of preparation. On the 8th day, Aaron begins his service. Why the 8th day? Just like circumcision is on the 8th day, the number 8 in Judaism represents transcendence. 6 represents human nature, or the world of nature. The number 6 days of creation. 7 represents sanctity, holiness, Shabbat. 8 represents a relationship with what is beyond this physical world. But when it comes time for Aaron to step forward and begin his service, Moses says to Aaron, Karav el hamizbeach, draw near to the altar. And Rashi says, why does Moshe have to encourage him? And Rashi says, because he was hesitant, he was reluctant. He didn't feel worthy to serve in the temple. And Moses had to say, come closer. This is why you were chosen. And our rabbis explain that what Moses was saying to him, that precisely your reluctance, your self-doubt, your insecurity, your feeling, am I worthy of this? Why was I chosen? That is precisely why you were chosen. Because it's your humility and feeling unworthy is what makes you the most worthy person. Sometimes a person is plagued by fear, by self-doubt, by insecurity, by a sense of humility, but that is actually an indicator why you were chosen. Because who is God going to choose? A person who is arrogant, a person who is confident, a person who says, sure, who else deserves this honor if not me? That's what Haman said to Achashverosh in the Megillah. Surely, who does the king want to honor more than me? And obviously, he ended up parading Mordechai around. And so it's precisely this sense of questioning oneself and saying, why was I chosen? That realization that it was a special privilege and honor that was bestowed upon him, that he was not entitled to, but was given to him as a divine gift. That was the signal, the sign, the reason why he was chosen. As Moses tells him, step forward, you are the most qualified person. Sometimes in life we say, why me? Or what can I do? Or who am I? And it could be a false sense of humility, because precisely that self-questioning is what makes you the most worthy person. This Shabbat, Palm Beach had a very special guest, Mia Shem, the hostage who was held for 55 days in captivity. The first person that Hamas put out a video of her with her broken arm that was shot. And the first message we saw from the first hostage 9 days after she was abducted, spend Shabbat in Palm Beach. And I thought about, here she was, she spent 7 Shabbatot of her life in Gaza as a hostage. And here she's spending a beautiful Shabbat with the Jewish community, embracing her, welcoming her, loving her, with friends and family as opposed to terrorists. But she spoke to a small group on Friday before Shabbat, and she told her harrowing story, and how she went with her best friend Ilya to the music festival. Ilya tragically was killed. She was taken into captivity, and she tells about her 55 days in captivity. And she tells many stories, including how when the terrorists would always try to break her spirit, and they would tell her, you're going to be here for a very long time. Like Gilad Shalit, you'll be here for years and years. Or maybe we'll just marry you off to someone in Gaza and you'll spend the rest of your life here. But she always remained strong and confident and refused to break. And she told me privately that she was born, her birthday, her 22nd birthday will be on Lag BaOmer. And her mother Karen said that she was born just as they were lighting in the evening the big bonfires at the grave of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And she said, from when I was born, I felt this deep connection to God that I attributed to the fact that I was born on such an auspicious day, the day of the Yom Hilulah, the celebration day that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar and Kabbalah, the deepest mystical teachings, which represents the number 8, things that are beyond this physical world. I was born on his day of celebration of his passing, that he said should be a day of celebration, and that gave me tremendous strength even as I was in captivity. But she tells one remarkable story, that when she was in captivity one day, the terrorist family that she was being held captive by was watching TV in the living room. And they were watching Israeli news, and they saw a rally of the families of the hostages in Tel Aviv. And Mia's mother, Karen, who was there, was speaking. And the hostages said to her, the captive said to her, the terrorist said to her, "Come here, watch, your mother's on TV. Look at her, because this is most probably the last time you're ever going to see her." And she said she came out of her room into the living room. And just as she came in, her mother was speaking. And her mother said to the large crowd in Tel Aviv, "We have to have faith, we have to have trust in God, in the Israeli government, in the IDF, in the Mossad, that they're going to bring us home, all of our hostages, all of our children. We will be reunited with our loved ones. We can't give up our faith and our hope. We must believe that they will come home." And when she heard these words, not only didn't it break her as the terrorists intended to, but it gave her the biggest boost and the biggest strength. And she said for the remaining days of captivity, she just kept on hearing her mother's words of encouragement over and over again. "We will be reunited, have faith." She felt like her mother was speaking straight to her. And it shows you the power of words, of optimism, of faith. You never know who is hearing what you're saying, who is listening, who is being inspired by your words. We always have to remain positive. And we have to know that when we have a challenge, the reason we have that challenge is because this is our mission. And that's what Mia said. She said, "Every moment I feel terrible guilt that I am free and there are still 134 hostages in captivity." She said, "I know what every second feels like." And she said, "I feel like I wasn't just released randomly by chance. I feel like I was released because I have a mission to go around the world and speak and tell the world about the plight of the hostages, because I know what it's like, because I spent 55 days there. That's why I was chosen to go free, to spread the word and spread the message about the plight of the hostages." This week, Wednesday, will be 180 days since October 7th, which means our hostages have been in captivity for 180 days. The Orthodox Union is running a campaign called 180,000 for 180 days. They're asking for 180,000 letters to be delivered to the White House, demanding that the White House stand with Israel and demand the release of all the hostages. Go on to OU.com and add your signature, add your name to the letters that will be hand-delivered to the White House on Wednesday. And together with me, Hashem, let us realize that we were chosen. We have a mission. We have a purpose as a Jewish people. And right now, our greatest mission is to stand with the Jewish people and with all of our hostages. May they all come home speedily, healthy and well to their loving families. Have a wonderful day.